So, some of you asked me what exactly and how I work with people. So, I want to tell you about the summary of today's session. I worked fully online. And one example is maybe the most potent. So, I had a woman, and we're working now approximately half a year together, and she had out of a sudden very strongly inflamed shoulder. So she went and checked it with the orthopedics in her region. So I for sure could not see her and examine her in an osteopathic way. So she could just do that at her local space, and they didn't found anything. So it was more like that the fluids deep, like in the tissue, which is very dense. That's the only thing they could share. So nothing really medicinal, meaning with a diagnosis that could support her. So it was like I experience it often in my work, kind of like the normal diagnostic tools hadn't found anything, but still pain is there. So what are we gonna do then? And we had a normal session in the container of On Your Medicine Roots. It's an online healing temple I offer right now, where we're going to the roots. So we had the first session today, and I asked her, so what is going on? So what is changing? And she's a very sensitive person, and has a family. So she has 2 kids, and she's a teacher, and for sure has a lot of issues she's dealing with at the moment, without further explanation needed here. And so we talked about the overall situation, what is in and when it started, and what she observes on a mental level, on an emotional level, and how she feels the body. And what she then explained was, I feel like my whole nervous system is kind of like in such a hurry, I cannot relax, so I cannot breathe. It's barely I cannot breathe. It's not that she said she's in a panic mode or something, but it's more like she really cannot calm down. And then we came to this mental and emotional pattern behind when it started with the inflammation of the shoulder. And she shared, she was like, oh wow, now it starts to move. Now something is moving, and I feel more my heart and my throat region. And I was like, good, that's a good sign. And already also mentioning, this was a crucial point where she also felt like, wow, now something is shifting. The remembrance of the symptom is coming. So already your body is on the way of finding a solution. So let's not forget that. So it's not about me interventing or saying, oh, you need to do that, and oh my God. It's more about listening and going inside. And then the second thing came up, and we came to the point of, she shared, she feels like she cannot control anything right now. So it is about this feeling right now on a collective level that every old control instances kind of like are fading, are exploding. And it was for her such a resonance in her field when she could express it. And for me, it was like when I work online, for me, I observe the aura, and I just see what is going on there. And I could see, wow, now something really hit her system, and it came into consciousness because she could express it, that her system could relax more and more. And then the regions I observe a lot right now, that are being challenged, and for everyone it's a different point in the physical body for sure, is that the emotional body is really challenged right now. Also the mental, but I feel more like the emotional body right now. So why? What I just energetically observe is that so much potent light and intensity wants to come into our body temple, wants to be anchored in. So let's say the higher intelligence really wants us to be fully ourselves, to really stand in our power. So for sure, intensity comes down. Now, when we talk about embodiment, the intensity of this light also wants to really come into the body. But first, until it can come into our body and really infuse our cells with our light, let's say, it needs to flow through the emotional system and the mental system. So, and what I see is right now, the emotional system is kind of like an explosion field of explosion. And it's very intense how in those sessions I observe like emotions are coming up, and oftentimes they are intensified in a way of kind of like a chain of emotions that is coming together. What do I mean? It's like, for example, sadness comes in, and then a whole storyline, a whole bubble of, oh, what does it mean? Is kind of like automated. And this is the most crucial point I observe right now, of letting go this narrative bubble of and healing. It's not of just let it go, and it doesn't work like this, in my opinion. What I want to say is addressing what emotion is here right now. Can I really feel it? And what story is in an automatic way coming up as a bubble? And especially what I observed today with this woman I worked with was like this, oh yeah, I can honestly, so I worked on those emotional chains in her aura, and it could really in a beautiful way dissolve, and it had nothing to do with this life, so it was really like on a soul level also. And she was like, oh yeah, I can feel this is like an old narrative on which I just operated from. This old wound of me being a healer, and me being seen, and me really standing in my power and expressing myself. And this fear of, oh, when I'm more myself, I'm kind of like dead. And so these are intense, deep trauma layers that are coming up right now. That's what I want to express. And so yeah, it's I just wanted to share today a little bit out of the practice and how I address things, and the moment when this emotional chain could really dissolve. The first thing that came was like awareness. Oh yeah, now I can see how this, like I said, like this emotion feeds on a mental bubble, kind of like a reality I'm talking myself into. And then also the awareness of, oh, I can actually let this go. So this emotion is not connected anymore to this bubble, because the bubble dissolved, because it's kind of like an operation in the energetic field. And then it was interesting for her to notice this, the shoulder. It was more like then the whole thing moved in her body, and it came more like into different parts of her body that she could feel, wow, now my physical body really is moving. I feel like a lot is going on right now. And that's a beautiful point. That's always where I feel like, yes, there we go. Because for me, it's really less about finding a cure in this moment of, let's say in this case, healing and curing the inflammation on the shoulder, and more about what are the layers behind, what is the emotional layer, what is the mental layer, what is the spiritual layer, the soul's experience, and what is being addressed right now. And then really addressing at the next healing cycle this point that wants to be released and that is ready to be released. That's an important point. So yeah, that's it. And so that's what I wanted to share. And I'm sending you love, and I'm sending you all the gentleness and compassion from my heart for all the things that are coming up right now for you.